All right, so I got my LS engine at the machine shop right now getting cleaned up. And I've got the active fuel management valley cover here. This is a later one. I noticed that some of the early ones have a piece here that this one doesn't have. But this is an oil pressure sensor, I guess. And your oil pressure comes up from the block and then feeds out into this rail here through this little passage. So what I need to do is cut off all these little mounting tabs, remove this, throw it away. I need to seal off that passage there. And then when the block comes back, I'll seal off the feed ports that these feed. And then I'll work on cleaning this up. But there's also a screen in here from what I understand. I haven't seen it yet. Let's pull this apart and see what we get. Oh, that's going to be a funky socket, because it's too big. So it's between the two. Now, I haven't tried. It looks like the 1 1/16 may work if you don't use the box bend. Yep. So just use the flat end of your 1 1/16. It's not that tight. If I pull this out, it's not in frame, is it? Okay. If I pull this out, there should be a little screen under here, and I can see it. And it's not plugged up, but I'm going to plug this port anyways. I can just chuck this and throw it away. Oh, well, I say that. Yeah, I can, because really the only thing it feeds is this pressure sensor. So I'm going to chuck that plastic piece. I'll end up blocking this, but let's go over to the bench grinder, or not the bench grinder. Let's go over to the metal bench and cut off these tabs and remove this stuff. Alright, so if you notice, I went back and recut that first one. If you cut right in the middle of this thing, you're going to miss it. You want to get down on this lip. And if you cut right on that lip, if you just rest your cutting wheel on that lip, it's going to take it off. So just be aware of that. Makes it a little easier. That way you don't have to cut it twice like I did. Alright, so there's 4 in a row on each side, and there's an extra one here, an extra one here, and an extra one here. So that gives you 11 total you have to cut. And now this should pry up with a pry bar. Oh yeah, I didn't have to put any pressure on it at all. And you got a clip here on the end for the connector. Once you weasel that off, you can just wiggle it and this will separate off. And then that just goes right in the scrap metal bin. So the rest of these posts I could clean up, grind them flat, or I could leave them like this. I don't think it matters a whole lot. There's the gasket. Whenever I go to put the new gasket on, I could feasibly cut out this center section here and leave it out, but more than likely I'll just put the gasket on and leave it. So here's that port coming in. And you can tap this and put a plug in there to help keep the oil from coming out of this. You want to do that, or else you'll have a big oil leak here in the middle. So I'm going to tap that and plug it. And supposedly you can reuse these gaskets. This engine I think has a fair number of miles on it, so I'm not going to reuse this. I've got a whole new gasket kit for the engine. So, and then I could feasibly pull this plug out and seal that, but honestly that does a really good job of blocking that off. So I think I may just cut these to get them out of the way, grind these down, and call it good. All right, quick safety note. If you notice, my death wheel now has a bunch of aluminum in it. This can actually, you have to be careful using cutting aluminum with wheels like this, especially like a grinder wheel. You do not want to use a grinder wheel on aluminum. You get aluminum in there, it'll get lodged in the pores like that, and then it'll heat and expand and crack this apart, and this thing comes apart at 10,000 RPM and sends flying shards into your belly and everything else. Death wheels, you have a smaller edge, you don't get as much aluminum in them. It's still not a wise idea to use these for aluminum, but I figured the amount that I was doing would be okay, and I can get on some steel and clean this out. But that's, again, there's a risk there. Flap wheels I'm not so concerned about. This is sandpaper. If the aluminum gets in here and it starts flexing, heating and flexing, it's not going to break this apart. So it's okay for flap wheels. Not so okay with death wheels, and very not okay with grinders, especially if you like a bench grinder. You do not want to grind aluminum on a bench grinder. And this is something I didn't know about when I was a young technician. Nobody told me about it. But you do not want to grind aluminum on a bench grinder, because that stone wheel will get clogged with aluminum, and it will heat and explode that wheel. So do not grind aluminum on a bench grinder. I do need to get the flap wheel after some of these, I think. Now, you want to stay away from your gasket surfaces when you're doing this. But, and then again, I don't really need to clean these up. It's going to be under the lifter valley. It's out of the way. It's not going to touch anything, so I think I'll be okay. So now let's tap and put a set screw in here after I clean off all the little bits. All right. So I've seen videos where people tap these for plugs, and they always do them standard size bolts. This motor is all metric. Why would I put a standard bolt in a metric motor? So I got to looking, and it looks like a 7mm tap is what I need for this hole. I got a 6mm tap, and I was able to thread it in by hand, and it left some tap-like marks on the aluminum, but that's not going to be enough to hold an actual bolt. So I'm going to go one size larger, go with 7mm. I don't have metric drill bits. You would think I would. I've got pretty much everything else now. I've gone in on metric tools. I've got a lot, but I don't have metric drill bits. It says use a 15/64 drill bit to drill this hole. Now, if I can find an angle to get at. And now I should be able to tap it. Now, if you saw that angle, I'm not going to be able to use my tap handle, I don't think. So let's just keep this on slow. Chuck it up. And we will go nice and easy. And there we go. I've got some tapped threads that look good. It's not perfect, but it'll hold. So now I just got to dig through my big bin of bolts down here and find a 7mm bolt that'll work. All right, so I kind of figured that a 7x1 millimeter hole might be a little hard to find a bolt for. And sure enough, I don't have any 7mm bolts. So I went down to Tractor Supply and I got an 8x125. So now I got to drill it out just a little bit larger. And this is a hex bolt. I couldn't find any set screws in metric. Tractor Supply doesn't have that much metric stuff. But 17/64 is the drill bit you need for this. And I'll probably end up drilling I need to do that first. I'm going to drill a countersink here on the end so this bolt can fit in there. It's probably going to protrude a little bit, but this is going to be under the intake, under it's going to be in the lifter valley. There shouldn't be anything near it. So let me get a larger bit real quick, put this stuff up, and I'm going to countersink that a little bit before I drill that way. All right, so I was looking at sinking a hole into here to drop this into, and I realized the head on this thing was just massively fat. So I chucked this up in my drill and then went over to my bench grinder and ground it down to a nice thin size. And that'll sit in there nicely. This is I think it's 1 step larger than a 3/8, and it'll give me it'll clean that up nicely to the size of that head. So, all right, so that's all it took to bore that hole out all the way down into there. And now I just got to tap it. Put a little tap magic on your tap. I should have done that the first time around. Now, if you notice, I got down to a point where this was going to hit on here and I stopped. I should have enough thread to run this down. I need to get my Allen wrench. I'm going to deburr the top of this real quick too. I believe that will work. That's my plug. It sticks up a little ways, but who cares? I'm going to clean all this up now. Now I'm done on my benchtop machine work. I'm going to get the wire brush after it and scrub it. I'm going to use some PB Blaster for knocking the oil and stuff off. PB Blaster is actually a pretty good solvent for cleaning stuff up, in addition to being a good lubricant. So let me get all my tools out of the way. All right, so I guess it wasn't recording for a lot of that, but I've got this all cleaned up now. Cleaned up nicely. I'm not going to try to make it look, pretty, and I'm not going to clean it up good enough to paint. I'm going to bolt it on just natural aluminum like this. When you're cleaning aluminum, use a brass brush. Brass brush and PB Blaster is what I used, and I got most of this. I mean, it looks fairly good, and that's good enough to go back on the engine. I am going to paint the engine, but a lot of the bolt-on pieces like this and valve covers, I'm not going to worry about painting them up real nice. The engine doesn't have to look pretty. I do want to paint the engine block so that we know which engine we have. Our goal is to get a second one of these engines and be able to swap them out and know which engine is which. So I've got some Chevy orange paint, and I think that's what the engine's going to end up being. And I'll bolt this onto it in its natural aluminum finish, and it'll be plenty nice for what we're doing. So there we go. I've still got to clean out this oil passage a little bit, I think. Pull this bolt back out and shoot some. I'll probably use some carb cleaner or some brake cleaner to clean up that the rest of the way. But that's it. Hope you learned something from that, and thanks for watching.